Yo, guys, so I'm going to talk about the psychic dark night of the soul. So, once you start to get, like, you meditate a lot, you aspire to grow spiritually, you don't even have to meditate a lot, or you took a lot of drugs, or smoked a lot of weed, and you have an aspiration to learn the lessons, learn the spiritual lessons, and grow spiritually. You start to be able, you become connected to the higher mind and the subconscious mind in the way where you might be able to see visions. Your thoughts could be controlled by the higher mind or the subconscious mind, and you could channel things from the higher mind and subconscious mind. And so it depends on your life's curriculum, like the curriculum that you're at right now. But if you're trying to level up, your curriculum gets broader, more advanced, and there's certain things that you have to accept in yourself as consciousness. And then there's certain things you have to accept in yourself as a body, your psychology. And these things the curriculum can change. For example, if you were abused as a kid, if you were abused as a kid, one of the main curriculum of your life is that you have to accept that you have the capability of being an abuser too, as consciousness, as a human being. And if you don't accept this, the answer will come to you so strongly because it's such a big lesson that you will then abuse someone when you're older, for example. You hear about that's a common thing, right? That's because this is like a psychological lesson. I'll explain this further, but it's like when something happens to you like that, your part of your mind makes it its number one goal to process it because it's a big deal. There was pain, there was suffering, there's all these dynamics, emotions. And there's a very simple answer. That's someone that made a mistake. That's someone that made a mistake and had bad things happen to them, and the cards align for that potentiality to come out of them, and that potential is in everyone. And if you and your subconscious and higher mind know this, but there's a part of your mind that you have to get down to the bottom and know this answer. So the higher mind and the subconscious mind know this answer, but you have this thing in you that's trying to process it, and it knows what the right answer is subconsciously. So it's not going to take any other answer for what it is. And if you don't process this, there's a chance that the answer will become so obvious to you, because that's how the universe works and how the mind works. Actually, the mind is very deep, that it'll say, this is a potentiality in you. Look, you did it. You did it yourself. And there's different ways you could look at it. Like, if you have accepted this as a potentiality in yourself, well, this whole process goes away and the answer doesn't need to be as obvious to you for you to grow. If you accepted this in yourself, you wouldn't have all these psychological confusion and problems and trauma that makes you act that out, right? And so the psychic dark night of the soul is when there's things you need to accept, like your sexuality, or the fact that as consciousness you're capable of evil. Whatever is a current curriculum for you that you're not accepting in yourself, whatever that lesson is, you want to grow and learn lessons so strongly that the fact that there's resistance to the lessons doesn't matter. So, but what happens is, because you're psychic or spiritually aware, your mind starts to give you thoughts. Your mind starts to give you visions. You start to channel different energies or personalities or points of view of an evil person or a gay person, or you see yourself being gay, or you see yourself being evil, or you see an evil thing attacking you. And what this is spirit, or your higher self and your subconscious mind, because you're psychic, saying, hey man, this is number one lesson. You're capable of evil. You're capable of evil. This is number one lesson. You're gay. This is number one lesson. You like to be dominant when having sex. Whatever it is. But the thing is this the psychic examples of things you need to accept in your life is met with resistance and denial and confusion and fear, because you haven't gotten down, you haven't taken responsibility for it, you haven't gotten down to the bottom of that. It's just a simple fact that this is a potentiality in you as consciousness. And so this resistance phase for psychics that have committed to learning these deeper lessons is the dark night of the soul for the psychic. You will suffer. This is the most you're going to suffer on your spiritual path, is when these dark things are being shown to you, these things you don't like to accept in yourself are being shown to you over and over again in multiple different ways. Intrusive thoughts, you call them intrusive thoughts, channeled information, visuals. And where people go crazy is they totally misinterpret that this is spirit sending them lessons, and they think it's a demon attacking me, or it's a succubus, it's an incubus. No, this is a lesson about your sexuality or the potentiality in yourself. And or subconsciously I think I'm evil, or like not subconsciously, or like subconscious in my conscious mind I think I'm evil because I've channeled this potentiality to be an abuser. I've channeled this potentiality to do this. I've had these thoughts. When I think of an evil guy, I think about doing it. That's because the psychic mind is controlling your mind to prove to you that you have this potentiality in you. You're seeing these visuals to prove to you that you have this potentiality in you. You're thinking these thoughts to prove to you that you have this potentiality in you. So this is for people that get psychic, and not all psychics, but the people that get psychic and want to be 100% accepting of consciousness itself deal with this dark night of the shadow, dark night of psychic perception. Just accept it. And once you accept it, you can see how there's an infinite amount of ways that accepting something like this is a good thing. You're responsible. You're not as scared of it. You made sense of it in your physical mind. You can now love. You're now one with your consciousness. You're not denying your consciousness. You're not suppressing your consciousness. There's a lot of ways to look at it. You could think of more. But yeah, that's the dark night of the psychic shadow. Made that up myself.